Alright, today we're finally getting to the 6.5 Suburban that's going to be like this channel's staple for a long time. Everything else is, if someone makes me the right offer, it's gone. This thing I plan to fully rebuild and completely rebuild. I'm going to get repainted, new carpet, like the whole interior is going to be new, and then it'll just have a mechanical tune-up. And then obviously as things break, that'll get replaced. But I do plan to keep this Suburban for quite a while, and that's why I bought it for $1,200. It has no reverse, and it has a big dent in the door, and interior has seen better days, so it needs a lot of work. But we're gonna start here, swapping over all my parts from the old red 6.5, if you all remember those videos from a couple years ago. And first thing up, we're gonna do the battery cables. I bought them from PT Wiring Solutions. I think they're around $250 or close to that. I don't know if they've gone up since I bought them, but that's what I paid, I believe, a couple years ago. And we're gonna get them on there. Now if you see down here, I already have the one that goes to the starter on. I did that when I replaced the starter. I already got that. That would be really hard to film, getting that one on. I didn't even try to film that down there, but I can film the top portion of it. That's no problem. So let's get started on this. Definitely would recommend their upgrade from PT Wiring Solutions. It's a 0 gauge ground and a 2 gauge positive, I believe. I'm going to get it set up how it was on my other truck. Here's the 4 bolts that it comes with. Nice ARP. Oh, they are ARP. I didn't even notice that until just now. It does say ARP on them. So you get ARP battery bolts. 3 of the same. One's a little bit longer, where you got to double slot it. So let's find all the parts that I need on my battery cables. Look at this. I got so much stuff in here from my other truck that I just got to put on. It's going to be awesome. Suburban's going to be so sick. I can't wait. I just need some money for the transmission. But I got other things where every month when the paycheck comes, I'm like, alright, do I build the transmission now, or do I pay off the debt? And usually, because there's interest on the debt, there's no interest on this. Usually the debt gets the answer. But we're whittling that down. It's going to be gone soon enough, and then we can finish the bourbon. This bourbon's going to be awesome. I'm going to love it. It's going to be my workhorse and family hauler. And pretty much just everything's gonna be cool about it. Let's get in here. There's my exhaust. I got so much stuff off my other truck. I gutted it pretty good before I started this. Alright, as you can see in your kit, you've got 3 cables that it comes with, or 4 technically, sorry. 4. You get the one that goes from the starter to the alternator and the battery. You've got the big guy that goes all the way across from battery to battery. You've got this one. Let's see. Where would this one go? If I remember right, this one. Oh yeah, this one goes right here, and it got one into the side and one into the battery, and then the other one, oh shoot, goes wherever that wire goes. Alright, and then this one goes from battery to roughly, I believe I had it right here on the other truck, and that's where we're going to put it again. This guy is actually probably the hardest one to put on, because this cable right here is so long. It actually, if I remember right, it actually runs from this thing all the way back to right back here. And that was a little tough to get off, if I remember right, that first time. We shall see how it is this time. Yeah, it goes right there. And the tough part about that was getting, I remember the whole stud was spinning on me last time, and there ain't really that great room for a wrench in there. I think I had to pull it all the way off. So I just undid this terminal. We're going to do this one first because it's easiest. And that one went right here. And it's actually going to a bolt all the way over here on the intake manifold. So, you can see it's going to be on one of those studs for the intake manifold that I got to get to. And once I move some wires out of the way, I'll be able to reposition that right here. It's going to be like this. It's going to be from here, run that down and through, and it's going to bolt to one of these two. And that's how I'm going to do that. Instead of, that's going to be my engine ground for that side. And right now, if this is in the stock location, it's a stud, one of the studs on like this, on one of the intake manifold studs, and you got to have a wrench on top and a wrench on bottom. And I'm gonna have to try to break it loose on top, because otherwise it's twisting the whole stud right now when I just move the top one. So here's what you get difference wise. This is the PT Wiring Solutions negative ground or negative cable, and here's the factory. This is a 0. I'm gonna guess that one looks to be a 4. So you're going from a 4 to a 0, and with the age of these trucks, you know, the newest one, if you have an HD from 02, is now 18 years old. So if they've never been done, they need to be done. When I did it on the red truck I had, it changed the idle just by changing the thing. It lowered the idle and it made it steadier. And that truck, when I did that, had 315,000 on it when I got it. So at that point, the batteries cables were done, and these helped a ton. So I made sure to put them on this truck too. So let's get it on here. It's this one I need. The time if you have any kind of wire brush, which I think right now I only have this big one and this little one. Wire brush these as best you can, because this is your ground, your new source for ground. I like this spot too. It's nice out of the way. It's not where it needs to be, right about there. That's a nice spot because it shouldn't rust. Even if you're in the rust belt, it shouldn't rust. So I'm going to grab one of my bolts. I'm going to have that ground. I think I'm going to have this ground plugged in just so I don't lose it. I'm going to put my bolt in. Alright, so that one's done. Now I can worry about this big one. It's right down there in a channel. And pry that up and out. So I'm actually going to just cut this one versus try to snake it all out. I'd rather just cut it and pull it out the side. That's just easier. That's garbage. I can pull this out. I need to get everything situated. I like how, look at this, the factory battery cables are on here. I will not be able to use those anymore, obviously, after this, but I will save them because they might come in handy for something else. This is, like I said, this is, other than putting it on the starter, this is probably the toughest part of the whole thing right here. Alright, so this, as you can see, goes all the way around back and comes right here. It is a 10, he is. Let's see. Do I need to hold this down a little bit? Got it. Oh wow, came off. Beautiful. I love no. Bam. Alright, let's yank this out. Oh shoot, is that in another bracket somewhere? Bam! There's my main part, or half of my main power one. So the one that's going in its place is right here. And unfortunately, bending these is quite difficult the first time because they're so thick. Obviously, and then they'll adjust the shape once you run your engine and everything gets hot. But so apparently I've forgotten how I did that on the it's been so long, but I put it right back where it came from, since my wire was already curved to be like that. So what I'm gonna do is brush that up a little bit right here. Now this area really don't get any dirt or rain or whatever, so just make sure it's somewhat clean. But let's get this on. Okay, let's get the nut up. In there as it should be. Looks nice. These batteries are probably dead. Almost can guarantee you these batteries are dead. But I'm probably gonna hook them up anyway, because the next time the truck starts it'll need a jump. We are going to work on this side, and I need to find where that one's going. Alright, and there's actually two spots that mount right here. There's actually three. This is a ground for 3 different points. So let's see, where does this go? Where does the factory line this up? It looks like the factory is choosing to put it right there. Alright, so I'm going to need another 15. It will not go back there. It goes to, I believe, this one right in front. If I remember right, I believe that's where he put it. He puts it on this guy. That's right. It goes right here on his kit. Yep. And how it was bent flat, that's where it goes. So it actually is much, once you get off the way he designed his kit, the lengths, he made it much easier for the next guy to get stuff on and off. With that said, it still is annoying, and I'm glad we're getting rid of it. I'm just putting that stud back where it came from. Bam. Once again, let's compare. Look at that. Look at that difference, even just that little guy. But the big one obviously is 0 gauge to 4 gauge. So we won't be needing that no more. This truck is so stock. It's awesome. Okay. Once again, sometimes getting these to where they need to go is one of the hardest and most challenging parts, because the wires are quite thick. But this one, I don't think will give us any troubles. To right there. Move this one. Yes, so we are almost ready to get this together. I'm going to bolt this one in. I'm going to put the little one in first, because it needs, it's hardest to see. That's only a 10 at the moment. I was able to get it with a 1/4 inch. Alright, so that one's lined up. Now these, like I said, I'm going to do this. I don't have my drill with me, or I don't have a battery for my drill to drill the holes, to stick this bolt through and hold this how I used to have it. I'm actually going to try to find a new piece for this, just to give it more of a factory look and delete these. But I can basically tighten everything in now, because it's going to need jumped anyway. Now notice this has the original 96 air filter in here, which in this particular case is nice because I have space for this ratchet. If I had the aftermarket or if I had a K47, this would be difficult. You got to use a ratcheting box wrench. And these are a little bit tricky, really for only one reason. Okay. Well, before I hook those up, I got to do that. This one right here goes to the back of your alternator. Look what I just found was coming from the harness across the motor. This was around the back of the alternator, and I assume that is the one that goes to the cluster, and clearly that's a no-go. And try to do this on the cheap, but I'm gonna put it back for right now. These two, this and this will both just go to the back of the alternator. This is your charger from the battery, or it goes from the alternator to the battery to keep the batteries charged, and this goes, so that's pretty important wire. Definitely don't want it looking like that. So that back of the alternator's on, still in its very janky form for the moment, but I just wanted to have it on here in case I need to try to move the burb real quick. And so now all I need to do, all the negatives are in. Alright, that negative's good, the grounds are in. I just gotta plug in the power and secure this, and then it is drivable. This one's always tough to get in, especially that first time. After the first time it is not a challenge, but since this is the first, and the problem is you risk stripping your battery turbo if they ain't perfectly in straight. Alright, so that battery's in. Buckle up for the day. So now if I put this one in, I might get some power. Always get dual posts, guys. I've made a mistake on this one. I only got side posts. You want the top post ones as well. It's just easier when you're jumping other cars and whatever. I didn't make that mistake in my Duramax. I got the a better battery with the dual post. I've used it to jump other people multiple times, so it might be a little bit more money, but it's worth it if you need that power connection. But let's see if these batteries are completely shot. I even got my key ready. Toast. 100% dead, so I don't feel bad about keeping them hooked up right now. Thanks for watching my video on the 6.5 battery cables. As you can see, the kit from PT Wiring Solutions is an upgrade. You got thicker batteries. Personally, I like the rerouting of the negatives to here and here. It's just better and easier to work with. This does need to be secured up front. Hooks make this as nice as you can, but for function, it should be doing just fine right now. So here's my old remains. Like I said, that was everything but the wire to the starter. That would be really tough to film. Any one of you who own a 6.5 would understand that, and you understand the idea. That one goes to the starter, so you got to get that one off too. But those are the three, or 3 or 4 that I did. Are the rest of them, and the ones that you can see. So if you own a 6.5 and your truck ain't new, it's got over 200,000 miles. What I just did probably needs done, and it may not be a need, but it will help the performance of the truck. And I just did that with just basic hand tools while trying to film. I think in like 2 hours. Obviously if you're not filming, much faster. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Definitely subscribe if you want to see more, because this burb is going to get the works handed to it coming up later in the channel. I'm about to do everything. It's going to get repainted. I got a new door already got to put on, and then a lot of other 6.5 stuff, and the interior is going to be gone through. So definitely stay tuned, and thanks for watching. This video is sponsored by bras250.com. You want a bike? Hop on there, get one.